Hello there. Alright, let's get this train moving. Hey there, Joel. Just 1 second. I gotta make sure all my points are switched correctly. This is the first stream I've done in, I think, at least a month now. Alright, all the points are set right. Alright, here we are. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know why suddenly today just really wanted to do a live stream. I've been getting back into the model railroading. I definitely needed to take a break from it, but now I'm happily back into it now. Alright. Yeah, I didn't really do much with the trains lately until about a week ago. And there we go, and get this in shot. I didn't do anything with trains for a while until I decided it was time to get this 260 here back up and running after that fall it had about a month ago. And I decided to do customize it a bit. I already did a post on that. But I wanted to do something different with it because, you know, it was kind of boring just leaving it as is the Rio Grande engines. I have plenty of other Rio Grande engines. So I took these, there we go. Doesn't want to focus very well. There we go. I took these extra Little House on the Prairie decals for the tender here that I had left over from my Tyco 460 that I've been working on lately from the show. And thought it'd be cool to just repurpose those extra decals with this locomotive, renumber it number 1. Gave it some antlers, a new diamond stack from a Bachmann 440. The engineer in the cab, I cut a wood load for it, which I've really been having a lot of fun cutting up wood for all my wood burner locomotives. The Bachmann 440s are all set to get their wood loads replaced with actual wood here soon. I just got to take a Dremel to the original plastic ones. Bachmann Limited Edition 844. That's pretty neat. I didn't know Bachmann did 844. Yeah, I decided to weather the locomotive just because, you know, all my other engines look pretty much brand new. And I thought, you know what, I'll have this one be a workhorse like my Rio Grande 260 that I got. And Rio Grande Southern 20 is a bit weathered too, so makes the engine look like it's been actually working instead of just a show horse for her life. Hello there, Christian. I was looking at U.S. military railroad stuff lately. They had a lot of cool stuff from the Civil War. MTH made some really cool stuff in O scale for the U.S. military railroad, but there's a lot of stuff for the HO scale available too for U.S. MRR. I've never heard of McLeod numbers 5 and 6. I'll have to look at that after the stream. I love wood burner locomotives. They're my favorite type of locomotives. I don't know why. Even though they're probably the most dangerous locomotives that could be operated, especially out in the prairies and forests where the sparks would come out of the stacks and just start insane fires. Even with these giant diamond stacks, they'd still start fires. I don't know why. It's just a cool aesthetic of the old days of railroading before coal became popularized, and then oil burners after that. Hello there, Southwest Railroad Productions. Hope you're doing well. I did not know. Oh, are they like, what are those locomotives? What are those called? Like Fairleys? Are they like Fairleys? Double Fairleys? Crazy Pants, I might do that in another video or live stream. Right now, I just look terrible. Yeah, I don't look so good right now. I didn't prepare to be on screen for the stream, so probably not this one, but maybe another one down the road. It's my day off from work, so I didn't put much effort into making myself look good today. 260 in SP Daylight, 70 pounds. What is that in US currency? Probably about $100, I assume. That's a really good deal. I assume that's the newer production Athearn 260s, right? Oh, nice. They have who makes Central Pacific stuff? Bachman has some Central Pacific stuff. Tycho Mantua had some Central Pacific stuff. There's a bunch of older manufacturers that had a ton of Old West lines that had Central Pacific included that you could get for your Jupiter locomotive. Yeah, I'll have to look at that, Joel. That sounds interesting. They had some really goofy looking locomotives that they were experimenting with back in the day. $95. That's a good deal. Trying to keep up with chat here, but the thing doesn't want to scroll so I can look at it. There we go. DCC ready. Yeah, that's a really good deal for it. I saw they have a ton of sound versions and DCC ready with those 260s. They sadly canceled the 440 range, which is a real disappointment, but I guess at the end of the day, it's almost the exact same as this 260, except, 440 instead. And I think they're doing another wave of 280. Yeah, they are doing another wave of 280s because I pre-ordered the Rio Grande 683, which I think is the very last surviving standard gauge Denver and Rio Grande locomotive in existence. And that's at the Colorado Railroad Museum, I believe. All right, let's get number 1 moving here. So this engine's front headlight is still not working, unfortunately. I don't know where it broke. I looked at all the tender connection wires that broke. Or not broke, sorry, that were damaged, because this thing took a fall off of my shelf here. And when it hit, luckily nothing, I don't think any of the wires from the tender to the locomotive broke completely. They were definitely damaged and bent when I looked at it. When I looked at them, sorry, I'm a bit confused, but I'm trying to remember what happened when I picked that engine up when it was wrecked. But the headlight doesn't work. And the headlight busted off when I dropped it. I'm assuming somewhere inside the locomotive itself, the wiring was damaged to the front headlight. I'm not sure where. But the front headlight doesn't work, sadly, still. I don't really know how to take these roundhouse Athearn locomotives apart, the boilers apart, to be able to look at the motor and the wiring and everything in there. Luckily, the engine runs just fine. These things are built really solid. But it's a shame I don't have that working front light right now. But the engine also lost a tender step, which I have yet to replace. That's easy to fix, though, with styrene. The headlight, like I said, came off. The stack came off. The handrail got pretty badly damaged, and I had to fix that and get it all back in place. I'm honestly shocked that from like I said, how far it dropped, which was probably like 5 feet or so. The locomotive is still running just fine. Like, I would have thought that would have totaled it after hitting the floor the way it did. No, I don't think the LED could have burned out. It stopped working like right after that after it hit the floor. I thought the wire had snapped from the tender to the locomotive, and I looked at it thoroughly, and I couldn't see an actual snapped connection from the engine to the tender. So I'm assuming maybe when the headlight busted off, maybe like pulled the LED and like pulled it. I don't know. I don't really know anything about wiring, really. That's why I outsource all the electronic stuff for my models to other people, like Red Oak Trains, and I have a gentleman doing work for me on a couple of Sierra engines out in California right now who's doing the electronics for me too. But I would like to get the engine apart at some point to see if I can myself fix that that front headlight though at some point. Yeah. Yeah, they're giving us Sierra 3. I heard that they're going to be slightly reworking that tooling from N-Scale. I'm not sure how that's going to look. Hopefully, it'll look a bit better. It'd be nice if they actually gave an extended smoke box on that locomotive, like they do with the 440s, like the one in front of us here. They have the Union Pacific variant with the smoke box extended for the coal burners. It'd be nice if they do that, but I honestly doubt they'll do that. It'll probably just be a basically repainted version of the whatever prototype. I think UP1010 is the prototype, so it's probably just going to be that. But it's better than nothing. We'll get something lettered as Sierra 3 at least. So, and it'll be DCC sound on board. I believe it has WOW sound installed from the factory on it. So that'll be really nice. People who want a DCC sound Sierra 3 are going to have something fairly close enough to the actual Sierra 3. And with a bit of kit bashing, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I'm sure it'll be a lot more closer to scale, too, than the Tyco 460s. Which actually, speaking of the Tyco 460s, let me show you guys something real quick. I'm going to cover the camera up because my room is a horrible mess right now because I haven't had time to keep up with it. But I found, these are kind of hard to find, an actual Tyco 460 lettered for the Sierra Railway. I have no clue why they numbered it 27. That's like out of the box lettered numbered 27. Still has the 3 up front. But I thought that was a cool find. I want to get that reworked a bit for like a 80s version of Sierra 3, and I'd like to have that upgraded with sound at some point. And then here's the Little House 460 right now. It has a new stack on it because I got tired of the old one. It needs to be painted and given pinstriping and weathered to match it. But here's how this one's looking right now. Ooh, I fell behind a bit on the chat. Yeah, it's likely. I don't know where the connection broke for it on that 260, but it's not the visible part. I from what I can see between the engine and tender, it's probably internal and needs fixing from when the light part got smashed itself earlier. Okay. Oh, and this town is going to be. I think I'm going to be rebuilding this town. I don't know if that's going to be an official thing yet. But I have plans, if I can get the proper structures, to redo this town as a different town. We'll have to see how that goes, though. Oops. Bachmann maintenance. Yeah, Bachmann should reintroduce a bunch more of their Central Pacific cars. I think they only have like one Central Pacific coach available at the moment for the Jupiter to go with, which is their combination coach. It's kind of disappointing. Any like box cars or freight cars for it. If you want Bachmann Central Pacific rolling stock, you got to get the stuff from like the 80s. Would I buy the? I'm assuming that this is in reference when I was talking about the new Bachmann Sierra 3. I'm definitely gonna buy it, even if it's inaccurate. I'm still gonna buy it just to have it. I think the Polar Express whistle was actually turned out to be Sierra 28's whistle. I don't have any confirmation on that, but from what I understand, those recordings were taken when Sierra 3 was out of service in the 90s, or like late 90s, early 2000s. Because the last year Sierra 3 ran was 96, and it wasn't rebuilt until 2010, I think. So it was I think that was Sierra 28's whistle, which is pretty similar to Sierra 3's, that cannonball whistle. Yeah, we are long overdue for model of Sierra 3. Way, way overdue. Because they stopped producing those, I think. They started them in like the 60s as the Hooverville Cannonball train set from Petticoat Junction. So that was like, what, 62, 63? And then I think they ended those production runs at Mantua in like the 90s at some point. I think the very last runs of the Tyco 460s had can motors in them. The very last run. Oh, they're NGT. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Yeah, it's probably going to be later. I don't think we're going to get that 460 next year. It'll probably be like 28 or 29 because they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to probably like make an entirely new tooling off of that. Because I don't think they're going to just take the N scale tooling and just make it bigger for. Oh, hold on! The headlight just came on the locomotive. It's flickering. I haven't seen that headlight work in a very long time. What is it doing? It's like having a seizure. See, the rear one's working. That is weird. This headlight has not worked at all since the wreck a month ago. Now that I do a live stream, it just comes on. It's off again. Let's see if it runs again. Oh. I wonder if it is the tender wiring. Because I can't see any snapped wires in here. Oh, I'll have to look at that later. Yes, Joel, I did use a lot of your CR3 project photos as reference for mine. I greatly appreciate that. That new wiring for the piping for like the check valves and the sand lines and everything, so much better than the old molded on. Well, that's interesting. Those Chattanooga 280s, I think some of them were redone as 080s too for other sets, like the Clementine's set. I honestly think Tyco gets way overhated in general. Like, way overhated. Like, with a bit of maintenance or just, replacing the motors, they can be just fine locomotives. Sure, they're oversized, a lot of them. And, sure, they're not super accurate by today's standards. But, I don't know, there's a certain charm to those older 70s Tyco locomotives that the newer ones don't have that I kind of like. Except for their diesels. I think their diesel locomotives are hideous. They are really outdated, but their steam engines aren't that horrible, though. Now the headlight's not working again. That's weird. It almost had like a purple hue to it as well for some reason. It was weird. Yeah, I remember they took all the valve gear in the pilot truck off when they made it the Clementine set. It's nice seeing you, Andy. I hope you have a good evening. Hey there, Red Oak. All right, I gotta scroll through chat. If I miss anybody's comments, my apologies, but I gotta catch up with chat again. I'll try my best to keep up, though. Oh, I hate when there's loud noises outside when I'm trying to sleep. Right now, there's like a tree that, it's like the branch is hanging super low and it keeps scraping up against the metal roofing of my house, and it's just driving me nuts at night. It's like some of them like startle me. Like some of the noises sound like banging on the roof, and like the branches scraping on the metal is just really, really creepy in the middle of the night when you don't expect it. Yeah, I'm doing really well, Griffin. Thank you. I definitely needed a break from the trains as I was burning myself out, doing so many projects at once. It just completely overwhelmed me, and I needed a break. But now I'm back, and I'm really glad that I'm back into the trains because, this is just I just love working on the models. I shouldn't be pushing myself to work on too many at once, I guess, but when you're not like rushing yourself to do all these projects or overwhelming yourself, it is a really nice hobby that really is relaxing. It's just really fun to do. The 480, I kind of want one of those Tyco Mastodons. I know they're not accurate to the Central Pacific ones at all, like they claim they are. but I still kind of like them. It'd be nice to have one of them to customize. I've seen some really cool custom ones. I think Red Oak, if you're still in the chat, I remember you sent me one of those that somebody had shown you that they customized, and I thought that was really cool. So maybe one of these days I'll find one for a good price, and maybe I'll do some work on one. Maybe backdate it a lot and make it look like a 1870s Mastodon. What whistle is the engine wearing? I believe it's a Boston, Maine 5-chime. Do I have a favorite 284 or 262? 284, definitely Pure Marquette 1225. That's representing Michigan, where I'm from. And then 262, either Sierra Railway 30 or McLeod River 25. That's a kind of a tough one. I like both of those railroads a great deal. I'm going to go with McLeod 25, though, because it's still running. I think 30 got scrapped like years and years ago. I don't think that one's in existence in any capacity anymore. Yeah, I think those engines have a lot of potential if you do a lot of work on them, even though they're still oversized for, like, you know, mid-18th or mid-19th century railroading. But I mean, if you put like a bunch of new domes and, you know, like maybe like new Rogers ornate bell that I put on my 119 and, you know, new stack, you know, everything like that, I think it would make it look a lot better. I wonder how those perform on 18-inch radius curves. I don't know if those have blind drivers in the center or not. I can't imagine those handling 18-inch radius curves very well, though. Because the wheel set on Sierra 3 is just massive as is. And then if you try to add in another driver like that, I'm sure it'll probably start binding on curves really bad. Need a ghost whistle for the locomotive. I wonder if there's any like that on here. I haven't really found any whistles that I'd like for this locomotive, so I just kind of went with the 5-chime because I always like the 5-chime whistles. There's a lot of like 6-chimes on this medium-sized steam locomotive for some reason. There's like a bunch of like UP ones and Norfolk and Western ones on here, which doesn't make sense for a tiny little mogul locomotive to have those on the economy, but oh well. Oh, nice, Joel. How is number 25 doing? Here, I'll play the whistle again. I think I know what the Baldwin 3-chime is that you're referencing, but here's the 5-chime. I think this is Boston and Maine. Wow, the 480 would actually do better. That does make sense if they have the blind drivers moved around like that, actually. That would make a lot of sense. I might have to pick one up one of these days. I was thinking about getting the JW Bowker, too. I heard that the tender drive versions are somehow better than the ones with the motor in the cab, but I still can't get over the fact that how oversized those locomotives are, so it would be kind of cursed to run that 240 around, which would probably be almost bigger than the 260 here, because it's oversized. Be cool if some manufacturer made a new JW Bowker, even though nobody really cares for that engine. It'd probably tank in sales immediately. Actually, that's a very obscure engine. Do I have a favorite era of railroading? 1905 to the 40s. That's a pretty good era. That's the USRA era for the most part. My favorite era is definitely like the Victorian era. So I'd say like 1860s to like the early 1900s, like, I don't know, 1915, 1920. Yeah, I definitely agree. 5-chimes are definitely some of the best whistles out there. They are the most aesthetically pleasing to listen to. When's the next video? I'm not sure. I don't really have anything planned right now. I'm sure I'll have something coming up soon to make a video on. I just don't know when, though. I don't have anything immediately planned. Ooh. Speaking of which, though, besides this locomotive, I did have another project lately. Oh, the ghost headlight just flickered on me. Too bad that was out of frame. I did paint up this coach today. I just sealed it earlier and finished it. It needs some touch. Here we go. Needs a bit of touch-up work done. I want to get people inside here, but this is supposed to be like Sierra Railway coach 2 here. So I already have the other one right here that already has passengers in it. But I wanted an unlettered version that I could just randomly pull with other locomotives that aren't Sierra 3 or Sierra 28. Hello there, Mike. Okay, that makes sense, Red Oak. That way you would get a lot more usage out of it. There's only like 2 single chimes on here, which is kind of disappointing. One of them is like the standard Baldwin single chime. The other one's like this really weird sounding one that I would assume probably came off of like a Porter or like a narrow gauge logging engine, just the way it sounds. And then there's like a couple of 5 chimes, and then the rest are like more deeper sounding, like 6 chimes, which would make sense because, you know, there's a lot more larger steam locomotives like that out on the market that would use those whistles than 19th century ones and smaller logging engines that would use single chimes and whistles like that. Yeah, it's a shame about the Bowkers. It'd be cool to see one of those in HOCL resurface, but honestly, that wouldn't be viable economically at all because I know for a fact that those would not do very well with sales at all because the 19th century is such a niche market as is already that I don't think like a one-off model that's not very what's the word I want to use? Like you can't really repurpose that 240 because it's such a distinct locomotive already that you wouldn't be able to use it for a ton of other road names realistically because of the way that engine is, which is sad. And that's how a lot of these 19th century models are. They take like one generic locomotive, like the new 19th century 460 UP 1010, and then they just find similar enough looking engines to put those liveries on to make multiple sales from that tooling. And sadly, the Bowker is just not going to be able to be viable like that. Favorite locomotive in the Red Dead series, the 10-wheeler. I definitely prefer the 10-wheeler over the 999. Yes, Halloween. I look forward to Halloween. They already got Halloween stuff up at the Family Dollar that's near me already, which is just nuts. They had that out since like late July. Layout expansion. Unfortunately, there's no space for an expansion. I have a very, very early stage shelf layout I'm working on for CR3 that's supposed to be more portable than this one. That hasn't really gone anywhere though, because that's going to take a lot of money to get all the all the new switches and track forks. I just kind of used placekeeper tracks for that are old janky switches that are like unusable, just to see if I could make it work in that space. I'll have to get new switches. I have to get new structures for it. Scenic stuff. I want to try out static grass on it. Ideally, I would like to have that model of Jamestown done within the next year or so, but that's, that's like me just being super idealistic about it. The Red Dead layout, I'm thinking of redoing the town of Valentine a bit because I'm kind of honestly getting bored with it. I've had the same town standing up for 4 years now. I'm thinking of redoing it a bit as Walnut Grove from Little House on the Prairie because I thought that would be really cool. I've been watching that show a lot lately. But I'm not sure if I want to do that entirely yet, though. I did find somebody on Etsy, and I bought 3D printed buildings of all the structures from that show to put on the layout. But I don't know, even though I'm bored with Valentine, I don't know if I can bring myself to dismantle Valentine and redo it as Walnut Grove. Maybe I can redo another part of the layout to fit all those structures. I don't know, but right now the layout is still the exact same way as it was last seen in my last video discussing it. Number 250. I haven't seen any updates on 250. I'll have to look into that. ACL 6 chime is really cool. I heard that one on the Silverton in January because Heist had it on 482. That was a really cool whistle. What was the other one you had? I just missed it. Casey Jones 6 chime. I haven't heard of that one. I'll look that one up. Yeah, freelancing would be really cool. Kind of merge the two. I'll have to see what I can do with my space because space is a big factor here. It is very limited. You can see the kind of Sierra Railway stuff I got set up going on in the background. It's just kind of covered in junk again because I haven't had time to put everything away. It's just kind of collecting cars again. Oh, and there is a new depot right here. I was messing around with a new depot that I got off eBay the other day. Kind of want to put the camera right here. Let's see if I can do the camera here. Move some stuff around. I think it'll just barely fit. Here we are. That's a pretty good view right here. 475 is back. I didn't know 475 left Strasburg. Be cool if you had a street running part of your layout. Joel, what do you mean by that? By the street running part of the layout? Oh, you mean, wait, yeah, you'll have to clarify because I don't really exactly know what you're referencing by that. Hope to see you soon, Train Boy. I think that was a few years ago when 475 hit the backhoe. I think it was like 2020, 2021, 22. Oh, okay. That's kind of what I thought you meant there, Joel. I couldn't really piece together what you were saying. That would be pretty cool. It would actually be really cool to have like a train look like it was drifting through traffic, like the Polar Express drifting through the ice. It'd be hilarious. I think I'll do one more lap of number 1, and I'm going to run that 440 back there. I got that Santa Fe 440 a while ago and gave it a new diamond stack. That's pretty cool. Does Oregon still have a lot of their old railroads still intact? Because Michigan tore out a ton of them. Michigan tore out like almost the entire northern half of the state's railroads. I think the latest casualty was the Escanaba and what was it called? It was like Escanaba and something, or Lake Superior and something. They just recently tore out tracks up here in the UP. I wonder if the ghost headlight's gonna pop back on again. Oh, it just flickered. Wow. Isn't that just like mildly convenient that it just turned on as soon as it went past and then it went right off again? I wonder what's going on then. Obviously the wiring isn't totally snapped somewhere then. I wonder where the damage is then, where it's obviously not making solid enough contact for it to reliably stay on. It could be haunted. There's a lot of those old haunted train wreck stories. After the train takes a good wreck to it like that it haunts the area. Oh, it flickered again. It's like one of those, what is it, like the Mars lights, I think, is where they flicker like that. It reminds me of one of those. It's kind of flickering like a kerosene light now, too. Hope you have a good evening, Griffin. Something spooky. We should see if we can come up with a good name for the locomotive now, because this engine doesn't have a name. Something spooky, since it has that haunted headlight. I'm open to any suggestions. Your computer crashed? Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Oh, you got a new laptop? Or is it like used new? I'm pretty technologically illiterate. I can't even barely use computers. I can like barely use Microsoft Word. Flicky? Oh, there goes the light flickering again. There it goes flickering again. Just did it again. It's like purple. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's like got a purple like hue to it when it's flickering. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I'm sure. Where did that go? I just missed that comment. Where'd it go? Yeah, you can get some really good deals on used stuff like that. I've seen the prices of new computers before at Walmart, and like it's just nuts how expensive some of those new ones go. If I were to ever get one, it would definitely be used secondhand market. The purple hue adds to it. That does kind of add to it, because that's like a Halloween color, purple. There it goes again. Yeah, that's the one thing I kind of miss about not having Facebook anymore. Is you can find really good deals like that locally on there. I'm kind of stuck with eBay now for finding used stuff. But yeah, that is a good deal. I've seen like computers go well over well, this one I saw one go way over $2,000 before at Walmart before, but I think that was like a top of the line gaming computer though. I'm sure it's even more expensive now because of the RAM issues that they're having because of all the stuff going on with AI, I think, is why the RAM is so expensive now. Flicky? Should we name the engine Flicky? Flying Phantom. I have not heard of Reader Railroad number 2. What locomotive is that? Thanks, I just messed that one up. Thank you, Three Rivers Rambler. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Well, the headlight just came on full blast and then it just died again. That's weird. It's weird that it's doing this now. Like I said, it has not had any life, that headlight, in the past month. And now that I'm doing a live stream, it's like flickering and trying to work again. It's like the engine's trying to put on a show as best as it can. Yeah, I'm really glad I rebuilt the engine now, though, instead of just selling it on eBay for parts like I planned to. This engine kind of gives me, like, Orange Blossom Cannonball vibes. Like, a mix between Orange Blossom Cannonball and Emma Sweeney. With that balloon stack and the antlers on the headlamp like that. Alright, I think it's time to run the 440. Let's put that on the track. What was that, number 91? Red Oak, you might recognize this one. Oh, is it Reader Railroad number 2? I did not know that. Oh, we're about to have a rear end collision because the other one's not going fast enough. Alright, get on the siding real quick, number 1. Or, I mean, Flicky. We're about to run out of time. I think there might be a collision if I don't stop number 91. There's going to be a collision. Where is it? Where is it? Alright, I got him stopped in time. Okay, number 1 as we go back. Is there enough room in that siding for the whole train? Oh, it's going to be close. Just barely enough room to park that entire consist on my siding here. Alright, and then number 91, you can get going again. I forgot how kind of crude those old soundtracks decoders were in these old Sound Value 440s. You only get 4 sound functions. Alright, I just missed out on chat. Is that Brass Track? I like how you're creating lore for the locomotive now, Joel. That's amazing. Old Flicky, the haunted engine. The track is not brass. This is Bachmann Easy Track nickel silver, not the steel stuff. And I painted the sides with the, what was it? Woodland Scenics has like a rust pen paint that you just go along the rails with. It makes it look nice and rusty and realistic. Yeah, I did not know Orange Blossom Cannonball was Reader Railroad number 2. I've only ever known it as the Orange Blossom Cannonball. Yeah, and I thought you'd find this familiar, Red Oak. I can't believe how much of a personality change this locomotive had with just a new diamond stack. I don't know why, but to me personally, I think it just gives the engine a kind of a different character with a diamond stack on it like that. Because I was looking at the real life 91 that engine was painted to represent. And it had a diamond stack like that. It also has like horizontal pilot slats too, instead of the regular vertical ones that this one has. But I can't really find any pilots that would be, compatible with this locomotive that would be heighted in properly to work. That's the one thing that kind of sucks about not having a 3D printer or skills to do that, is that I can't just make up custom parts like that. And it's a shame that Shapeways is gone too, because I'm sure they would have had replaceable pilots like that. Because I remember Shapeways used to have like a whole selection of custom stacks and parts for the old Bachmann 440s. Hello, Strasbourg. Yeah, they were supposed to run the Orange Blossom Cannonball again in, I think, Georgia. They were talking about moving it to Georgia and running it, but those plans fell through because it was too expensive, I think, to move it and get it running again. Yeah, the engine has a character now with that purple flickering headlight. I don't know why it just started doing that during the stream, but I'm kind of glad it did now. The stack on number 1 is a Bachmann 440 stack. It actually came off of the 440 running right now, number 91, the Santa Fe one. Yep, that's what it was. It was a 260 pulling the cannonball. That engine was in a couple movies too. I think it was in True Grit, the remake with Jeff Bridges, and then it was also in 310 to Yuma with who was that, Christian Bale, I think, and Russell Crowe. Those are both pretty good movies. To me, anyways. I'll have to look into that Three Rivers. Oh, you know what? I think I did see that because Lord Vader, who's a viewer who I've been trading locomotives and stuff with, and I bought the 999 model from him. He was telling me about how he was using that seller now to get 440 parts for his locomotive, so I'll have to look into that. Oh, it was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou too? Oh, I forgot it was in that. Best replacement can motor for that would Strasbourg. That would be definitely a much Red Oak Trains. If you're still in the stream, he would be a lot better of a person to answer a question like that, because I would have no idea what kind of motor to put in a 040 like that. There might be replacement kits available. Sorry, my nose is a bit congested. I know they have some Mantua replacement motors on eBay for like the 460 and the 462. So I wouldn't be shocked if they had a replacement available on eBay. But that's definitely a Red Oak question. I'll have to look at Etsy too. Yeah, it's a shame that engine doesn't properly exist in HO, but I'm sure Roundhouse Mogul could be kit bashed to be pretty close in likeness to that engine. CB Backshop, yeah, that's who it was, Red Oak. I was trying to remember who the seller on eBay was that had those. Let's see, do I have any other engines to run? Oh, I don't know if I showed this one yet. Hold on, let me show. But I did pick up this General off eBay. I don't know why, but it's not running. It's totally dead. It looked like what is it? New old stock. That's what it was. It was like new old stock, but it's like dead out of the box. I don't know what it could be. I don't know if I don't think it was shorting out when I tested it, so I want to see if I can get this thing running now. Got some cars with it. Here it is with the Lionel one in the background. Oh, and then I got a coach for the Wanderer finally. These are like an absolute nightmare to try and find. Total nightmare. These are so hard to find. I'll just show off these 10-wheelers again one more time that I'm working on. I look forward to starting this one. I'm going to add the pinstriping off this 10-wheeler onto this one because I still have extra decals for that. Going to take off the weirdly numbered 27 number off this and put 3 on it with the pinstriping. I still don't get why they put 27 on their model of Sierra 3. They were so close to perfection, and they put 27 on it. I don't know what Mantua was thinking. And those have to be repainted. And that new pilot, I need a new pilot for that and a new dynamo. I look forward to getting that one running. I'm not sure what motor is in the General. Yeah, I was thinking it needed a re-oiling, but I was able to freely spin the gearing, or I was able to spin the drive shaft around, and there was like no binding up at all. The wheels were moving around just fine. So I don't think it's the gearing. There's something wrong with the motor. I don't know if it probably needs a whole new motor. Actually, I know what motor it is. It's not a can motor. It has one of those old open frame ones. Because I don't have space to do it right here. But if I were to flip it upside down, it does have like the older style motor in it. You can visibly see it. I'll show it on stream here real quick. If anyone can see. If I can get good lighting in there. But you can see it has like the older style motor in there. Because I think, don't quote me as being 100% sure, but I think at some point these did get upgraded motors, like how the Sierra 460 in the very late runs had can motors put in them. So it's definitely with the motor that issue lies. I think the closest you could probably get ready to run would be one of the Roundhouse 260s to Reader 2. I'd probably suggest getting the they have like a smaller dry wheel version of the 260. They don't have DCC and sound. It's an older run. One Roundhouse was still producing them. But you could start there if you wanted to build an accurate version of that 260. Yeah, I'll have to take the model apart properly and look into it because I only just got it recently and I haven't really had time to actually get that model all apart and diagnosed. But I do know that it's in very good shape though, because like I said, it was new old stock, and when I turned the drive shaft for the motor, it was still spinning the wheels real nicely. So it's definitely a loose connection or something to do with the motor. I don't think it was short circuiting because I did test it on the layout. And my short circuit thing didn't trip when I tried running it. So I don't think it's shorting. What kind of passenger cars do I have? Mostly the 1860 style ones Bachmann makes and the shorty coaches that Roundhouse made. I have a few of the 50-foot Overland coaches that Roundhouse also made too for, I think there's Central Pacific that those ones are lettered for. IHC GG1 Bicentennial number 4800. Ooh, it's always fun when you find those hard to find engines. It's always really satisfying when you can get your hands on a locomotive that's hard to find like that. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. The motor is probably dead from just sitting there for years and years with, no usage at all. I saw that can motor conversion kit. I think it was like almost $50. which is why I'm kind of hesitating to buy the motor for the General, but I definitely want to get that engine up and running. So I'll probably end up caving when I can afford to end up getting that engine remotored and running. Because I can almost guarantee, like, I'm not the best with diagnosing mechanical issues with models like this, like I said, but from what I've seen of the locomotive, I can almost guarantee it's probably like a dead motor, like you said, Red Oak, because the wheels were running just fine when I turned the drive shaft. So I don't know what else it could be. And the wheels are all super clean too, unless it's a contact issue. You saw one for 11? I'll have to look into that then, because I could have sworn I saw one, but it was like $50 or something. I'm like, what? Unless I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm gonna have to look at that listing now. Because I just remember I put off buying it because of the price, though. I'll have to definitely look into that now. Because that, yeah. Oh, you saw that one too, Three Rivers? Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the one I saw, and that's why I didn't buy the motor. Because I'm like, I'm not spending another $50 on just a motor for the locomotive, when I'm sure I can find one cheaper elsewhere that works just as well. Let's see. I think I'm going to run one more locomotive, then I'm going to end the stream for the night. I just wanted to do a quick little stream, and it's coming up on an hour now. I have Bachmann 260 on the track, so I'll move number 91 off the main line so we can run this Rio Grande Mogul. Then I'll be ending the stream. I don't know why, but these cars are super hard to find at a reasonable price on eBay. These Santa Fe cars must not be in production anymore by Bachmann, because it was like most of the listings were like, what, $50 per coach, which is just nuts. No way these Bachmann passenger cars are worth $50. Thank you. This layout has taken quite a while, and I think the scenery part was definitely my favorite part of doing it. If I were to redo the layout entirely, I would definitely do a couple of things different, but I'm pretty satisfied with how the scenery came out. Yeah, I'm sure it probably sold out at that price. $11 is a lot better than $60 for that motor. I'd appreciate that, Red Oak. Thank you. I'm tempted to get some of those new wood coaches, but I don't think they're gonna look good on my layout though, because those are longer coaches, and I'm not sure how those will look on the tighter 18-inch radius curves. I think they're gonna be what, like, I think I did the math. I converted the inches in real life of that coach, because it's like I think it's like a 60-foot coach, right? Those new Bachmann ones. So I think those coaches ended up being like 10 inches or so total, which is like an inch longer than a standard stretch of Bachmann straight track. And I don't think those will look very good going over tighter curves. So I might not end up getting those. I think I'll be satisfied with my shorty coaches and the standard Bachmann ones. Yeah, they are very similar to the roundhouse ones. Which livery are you getting, Red Oak, for the 10-wheeler? I'm definitely getting Sierra 3, but the Thatcher Perkins and the Central Pacific Yuba also look very tempting as well. I'm going to be burning a hole in my pocket as soon as that release comes out in a year or so or two. We desperately needed those 10-wheelers, too. We desperately needed a 19th century 460 and HO scale. And I'm really glad Bachman listened, even though it's not going to be an actual CR3 basis. It'll have to do. Better than nothing. Those engines, I can tell, are going to be really good for kit bashing and customizing, too. There's a lot of potential in these new 10-wheelers. Hopefully Bachman doesn't fumble it really bad. Do you still have the one N scale layout that you're working on, Red Oak? Or are you going to like build a whole new one? Because I actually have in the corner of this room, I made like a super tiny basic N scale loop layout that I was thinking of using with the 10-wheeler that I bought because I had the 440 set that I bought. But I'm not sure if I'm going to end up getting the N scale version at all now just because they have the HO one coming in a year or two. Though the N scale one is still super tempting to buy, though. This whistle on the locomotive is like the stock Soundtracks whistle. I think it's not a Baldwin 3 chime, is it? I think it's either a Baldwin 3 chime or it's like a... Yeah, it is. This is a Baldwin. Now that I think about it, pretty sure this is a Baldwin 3 chime on this. And I have like the stock bell, too. I'm going to take my 440 off the layout. Put my coaches away. Move the coaches on the siding. Yeah, it'd be nice if the engine could be fairly easy to customize. There's some locomotives out there that I've tried working on customizing. They're just an absolute pain to do because they're not meant to be kit bashed. Yeah, a lot of the areas in Red Dead 2, I think, were based off of the Rio Grande, because there was like one mission where they replaced the Thatcher Perkins tender with like a K-37 tender for some reason. I think they just did that so they could have like an ambush area, because they have those dog houses on the tender. I think they did that just so they could use the dog house as an ambush area for when the character is trying to get to the locomotive. Because the fireman comes out from behind the dog house of the locomotive and hits the character over the head with a shovel or something. What are you planning to build? Are you going to do like a small, like little basic loop, you think? Or are you going to do like a like switching layout, or be cool if you could do like a super small, like what were those called? I think they had like I remember 0 and 30 used to have them. What were they called? Pizza layouts or pizza box layouts or something, where they would literally take an area the size of a to-go pizza box and make a layout. Those were always cool. It'd be cool to see that with N scale, because then with N scale you get even more space to work with in a smaller scale. I think you'll be waiting a long time for cheap resales on those Ken wheelers. I see those engines selling out pretty quickly, if I'm going to be honest. N scale's pretty cool, but it's also kind of super finicky, at least for me anyway. And that's kind of my main gripe about it. I mean, it's a lot easier on the space if you have limited space, but I've always found them just to be a bit too finicky for my interests, which is why I'm so hesitant to get the N-Scale 10-wheeler now that the HO one has been announced by Bachmann. But I don't know, I might end up getting it. We'll have to see how things go. Oh, that'd be sweet if you had the Highline. Did you see that N-Scale Highline layout, Red Oak, on YouTube? Some gentleman made like Durango in the Highline, and like I think it was like a 2-foot by 4-foot space, so super small, super compact. And he did just a fantastic job with that. Really did the best with the space that he had for it. Like, I wish I had the ability to like make scenes like that really make the best out of the space that you have. Like, he did like all the mountain work and everything, and you wouldn't have thought, looking at it at first glance in that video, that it was only like 2 foot by 4 foot. I don't think Bachmann directly does pre-orders, but I know Train World does. So I have a couple of pre-orders with Train World right now. I have Athearn 280 on pre-order, and I have Bachmann, one of the new Bachmann Shays with the metal gears. I have the red Pickering one on pre-order. Does anybody here have the I'll wait for the whistle. Does anybody here have the Broadway Limited Shay? I was thinking of getting one of those Shays, but they're just obscenely expensive for what they are. But they look nice, but the sounds are horrible, though. I heard the chugging sound on... someone did a review of it, and the chugging sound on the Shay that BLI did was just god-awful. But it looks nice, though. Thank you, American Model Trains. I just use basic Bachmann switches, which I absolutely do not recommend you use. They do cause me trouble. But when I started the layout, I used Easy Track because it was simple. They usually work just fine for me, but there are a few locomotives that are very picky on these points. I would definitely recommend you get nicer points than Bachmann Easy Track for your layout, because you do not want to deal with the nightmare of having trains derailing and all that comes with cheaper points. Oh, that's a shame. You'd expect for the price that BLI is charging that they would send the engine in really good shape. No, I've never been to Florida, but I've seen lots of YouTube videos of that locomotive running when it was still on the Orange Blossom Cannonball line, though. Nice. Alright, I think it's going to do one more loop for the train, though, and then I'm probably going to end the stream. I've heard of the Blue Comet. That's Baltimore and Ohio, right? The Blue Comet. Because I remember seeing a ton of train sets for the Blue Comet, and it was always had that royal blue locomotive. I always liked that livery. I think that's like the only railroad that I'm aware of that used blue like that on their passenger trains. Oh, I did not know that was Central Railroad, New Jersey. Thank you for correcting me. I thought it was just B&O that had a blue locomotive like that. Or blue locomotives and trains like that. I'm going to park the engine. Come on, back up. Let's park the engine right by the camera when I end stream here. You can tell this is one of the first engines I did decal work on because it's very visible right here. Let's just back it up a bit further. I want to see it more. There we go. Oh. Yeah, I thought only B&O had blue locomotives like that. Didn't know that they had one too. Anyways, though, I get through all of it. Yeah, it'd be nice if that 260 ran again. Can the 260 turn into a 460? I'm sure. Actually, I don't know. Because of the spacing of the drivers, I don't think you could turn the two. Yeah, you couldn't turn the 260 into a 460 because of the spacing of the drivers, because the drivers are literally right behind the cylinders. But it might be possible if you did the 280, if you took the Athearn 280 and turned it into a 460, because then you could just pull the first driver out. But that would be a lot of work. You'd have to like grind away all the frame right here, and then you'd have to be able to find a way to put a new pilot in there that swivels properly. I think that'd be a lot more work than it'd be worth putting into it unless you're really experienced with carrying out a project like that. I know I certainly wouldn't be able to do something like that. But I'm sure if you're skilled enough, though, you would be able to carry out something, though, along those lines. Anyways, though, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I appreciate everyone that joined the stream tonight. You know, it's been a while since I did any streaming or videos. I just wanted to start getting back into it. Hopefully I'll have some more videos and stuff coming out soon. I'm definitely not going to rush it, though, because I'm just now really starting to get back into it, and I don't want to, you know, ruin that by, you know, overwhelming myself again with doing a bunch of stuff at once. So just when I can, I'll try and get something out at some point. Anyways, though, appreciate everyone for watching tonight, and hope you all have a good night. It's been so long, I forgot how to turn off the stream. Oh, there we go. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a good night.